I have been catcalled.
Yes.
I've been catcalled many times on the street, mostly while walking to work.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
I was walking home from my friend's house, and it was super terrifying at the time because it was a hot day, not wearing much clothing. And this guy pulls up right next to me, and I don't really remember what he said, but it was super terrifying, and all I remember is running the other direction and being terrified.
I was walking down the street with one of my friends in Kelowna. And it'll be like you're just walking down the street and like someone honks their horn at you, or like they'll whistle. Or when I went to Mexico, it was like people would lean out of their trucks and like yell. And it's always disrespectful things.
I was walking to school and some guys were I think a little tipsy in their car, and they decided they were gonna catcall me.
The first experience I can remember was when I was in New York City on a dance trip, and I was with my mom, and we were just walking around doing some shopping, and this like older man was like, "Hey girl," and I was like, no, I don't want to hear from you, and I was really uncomfortable.
I was with one of my friends, and we were crossing the street. There was this big truck. It stopped for us, and right as we were crossing, the guys yelled all sorts of inappropriate things at us involving their genital areas and ours, and it made both of us feel very, very uncomfortable.
I was about 9 years old.
I think I was probably like 11 or 12 years old.
It was probably when I was in grade 7, actually, when I was first catcalled. Oh dear, I was about 13.
It was not very fun at all because it was actually kind of terrifying.
I didn't feel like a person. I felt like an object that someone was staring at.
The experience of being catcalled for the first time made me feel very, very awkward, and I don't know how to describe it exactly. It wasn't a pleasant feeling. It made me feel really uncomfortable. I thought I did something wrong, and I was very uncomfortable and had to go talk to my mom after that.
I felt kind of like downgraded, like they were treating me like an animal almost, like, "Aw, cute puppy," like yelling out to me like I felt degraded, and like I don't know, I felt really uncomfortable, and just like I just wanted to be left alone.
Uncomfortable. It made me feel objectified and dehumanized.
Not really, just that one street. Because, I don't know, it has a lot of action on that street, and a lot of bad things have happened, and girls get picked up all the time on that street.
Yeah, I always think about like what I'm wearing or how I look, or like would someone want to like come after me or something. Like that's always kind of a little fear in the back of your head.
I feel unsafe because you never know who's going to come up and say what, or how they're going to react, or how I will react to the situation. So, yeah, I feel unsafe, so that's why I have my keys between my fingers.
Not normally, but I do have some friends who don't want to walk downtown alone, don't want to be seen by themselves when they walk alone or anything like that. I personally have walked alone downtown or in other parts of the city quite a few times, and there's been a few catcalls and like inappropriate people around, but mostly my experiences are normal, just people have left me alone.
Not usually. I try to be a very confident human being, but when I'm alone and it's dark, absolutely.
I wear baggier clothing and like longer clothing in the summer.
Like if I'm going like home or something, I'll hold my key in my hand because I think if someone comes after me, like I have my key, or like I'll put on baggier clothes so that I don't look as feminine.
I do put my keys between my fingers as I walk, and I also wear bigger clothing so I look bigger at night.
I usually just zip up my clothing, whatever I have, like my shirt and my pants, and make sure like I'm covered up. And yeah, I like to wear clothing that's not really easy to access. Not that I'm too worried about that, but I still keeping all the precautions.
Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head.
I worked with this one guy that kept asking one of my coworkers that was a female out. She was 18 and he was 40.
Well, like, when you try to talk to a guy and, like, he won't look you in the face, like, it's like, my eyes are up here. That's happened to everyone before. Like, it sounds funny, but it's happened.
At work, actually, where guys think it's okay to overstep the boundaries of girls and they put ice down my shirt and stuff like that. It's very uncomfortable and very inappropriate.
In 9th grade, the boyfriend of my best friend grabbed my butt when I stood up to go throw something in the garbage. He just, like, grabbed my butt, and I was extremely uncomfortable, and I turned complete red, and the whole group sitting there made fun of me for that.
When I was about 13, again, I used to go to the gym for the YMCA, and there was this man. He was about 40. Every time I went there, he would be there, and he'd stand over me, and he'd just say random things, and eventually he asked me to go out for drinks with him. I was 13. He was 40, and I explained that to him. He didn't seem to mind whatsoever, and that made me feel extremely uncomfortable.
I think I would educate men at a younger age about not trying to sexualize women and not making it a norm to sexualize women and to treat them as not as an object but as like an equal.
Well, I feel like people need to be more aware, like, of the fact that it happens all the time to just about anyone, like, no matter how old you are. And I feel like people need to be aware of that and kind of realize that it happens a lot and how it makes people feel.
I'm not sure how the problem could be fixed exactly, other than parents teaching their children that objectifying people is wrong.
I would do a lot of whatever it takes. I don't really know what that would be because it's such a big issue and there's so many people taking part in it around the world. It's not in specific cities or countries. It's people, especially men, everywhere. And yeah, I don't know how I would stop it, but I sure would like to.
I think women need to stand up for themselves. It's still a man's world, despite what people try to say or convince you of. We need to start saying something when we feel uncomfortable, and we need to start learning how to take care of ourselves.